Now he's beside himself. He took out insurance. It was the insurance broke his fault that he didn't do the good job. Talking about a few $100,000 of damage. Who has to pay? Question number 2, an Erlich Shayla. Someone heard about someone that had a potential job, and he badmouthed the person. He said some bad things about the person, and the person did not get the job. Directly because of his Moiti Shemra. It wasn't true, but people talk. Came Yom Royim, he realized he has to do Al Chetchach, Tanul Fanecha, the Lashon Hara. Then he started thinking, maybe he's chayiv to pay also. He caused the person to lose a job. Third shayla, which is supposed to be a true story. A and B were fighting during the winter. A threw a snowball at B. B bent down, and the snowball went and hit a third person. Happens to be was the Rosh Hashiva, but that's incidental. And it broke the Rosh Hashiva's glasses. So the question is, who's chayiv to pay? So if you notice, these and many others, we have a specific focus today. We learn our Babas Nezikin, Yamazik, you have to pay. What's the halacha when you cause damage? The one that bent down didn't throw the snowball, he caused the damage. The broker that was negligent in the paperwork didn't burn the house down, he was negligent. Lashon Hara, of course, is a terrible negligence, but he didn't ruin someone's house. He caused him to lose his job or not get the job. So we really have to figure out, how does halacha view when you cause damage as opposed to doing damage? But really the truth is, the first halacha that we have to learn, whenever you talk about chayish mishpat, is it's not a question of how much you have to pay. That's a b'diavad. The first halacha in chayish mishpat is a person has to be careful. We're very much money and cents minded. How much do I owe? But it's more than that. If someone is mazik someone else, it causes gewaltige agmas nefesh. It causes tsar. Rabbi Yoina in the beginning of Avis, Mamish the beginning of Avis writes, Loi sigzo, and any nezikin, any damage that we do is included in Loi sigzo. According to Rabbi Yoina, there's an issa deraisa to do damage. The Yad Ramah in Bava Basra, Daf Chavav, Ois Kuzayin, you're not allowed to cause damage, he says. Either it's Lefnei Evil Eisite Michshol, or it's V'hafta Re'acha Kamoicha. Two Isuri Deraisa. The Chinuch in Reish Mem Gimel clearly says that if a person is not careful and he damages someone, he's oiva on V'hafta Re'acha Kamoicha. Some add, there's also the mitzvah of Shavas Aveda. You have to help someone prevent a loss, not cause a loss, or not make a loss. And the truth is, it's not a stira, they're all true. And that's why it's noteworthy, the first halacha, the first words of Hilchis Nezikin, a whole group of halachas, the first words is Asa Lahazik Maman Chaverim. Step 1, you have to be careful. They say a beautiful story, a child came to the Chazon Ish, he was ready to be fahered on Masechta Bava Kama. Okay? Chazon Ish asked him a question. When you're passing a knife, let's say a challah knife to someone, how do you pass it? Do you hold on to the handle and extend the blade? Or hold on to the blade and extend the handle? Which way do you hold it? Do you have to hold on to the blade? It's not safe for you. Maybe chayecha koidin. So the boy didn't know. Chazon Ish told him it's a toisvis in Bava Kama Chav Zayin Amud Beis. Yoiste yesh loy lishmar shelo yazik mishelo yuzak. You have to be more careful not to damage than get damaged. So this is halacha aleph. We have to be careful in our dealings with people. Our discussion today is b'diavad, after there was damage, who has to pay and how much. So this is really a beautiful point that we have to clarify. Because let's think objectively. It comes to mind the following scenario. There's a fire that's burning, and you're not allowed to put out a fire on Shabbos unless it's pekuach nefesh. It's not pekuach nefesh. But you decide to be clever. You put a barrel of water next to the fire. When the fire gets to the barrel, it bursts the barrel, and the water gushes out and puts out the fire. Grama on Shabbos. Is the person chayiv for being goyrim kibui on Shabbos? So this is a Gemara in Shabbos, Kuf Chaf Amud Beis, Loisasa Kol Malacha, Asiyahu Da'asa, Grama Shari. Regarding Shabbos that's so chamor, Grama is mutter. Posh, b'deraisa. Oh. So we could say, if by Shabbos that's so chamor, Grama is not asa, maybe in Ezekiel also, Shabbos is kilo. But it's not true. Shtei tshuvas b'dav. First of all, Shabbos is not mutter to make Grama. It's not an issa deraisa. Okay, issa derabanan. So maybe Grama Nazak is also midrabanan. But more fundamentally, Nezikin is more chama, believe it or not, than Shabbos. How do I know? Because there's a Mishnah that the Mishnah says a chiddush that we don't find in Kol HaTorah Kula. There's a klal l'naira l'sasa dava, a person that's oinus and did an aveira, even gimel chamurais, pata, oinus rachmana patre. The one exception is Nezikin. The Mishnah, Chavav and Bava Kama, Adam Mu'at La'olam, Shaygig, Mezid, Yashan. The Gemara adds even Oinis, Mavel Arayim. A person that's mazik ba'oinis is chayiv. According to some Rishonim, even Oinis Gamor is chayiv. In Kol HaTorah Kula, Oinis is pata. The answer seems to be that the Rebbeinu Shalom is a kel racham v'chanim. Oinus, okay. Grama, midraisa, okay. But if you damage someone else, how do you try to pata yourself? He's hurt. You can't just leave it. Mazik involves bein adam l'chaverei. And that's why it seems that mazik is worse than other averis. Even oinis is chayiv. Oy bazoi, how could we say mazik begrama is pata? No, maybe Shabbos taka is pata, and grama is mochav. But there's one point that we have to clarify. If I do something, if I'm mazik, I'm responsible, even oinis. Maybe even oinis gama. But grama, I didn't do anything. I caused the hezek. Who said causing a hezek is me? Maybe if I do something, then even oinis. Just causing, mechatesa. So the truth is, I want to tell you before we go weiter, there are shittas in the Rishonim. The Shach and Shin, Peivav, Sif Dalid, and Taf Yud Ches Dalid says the sheet of Rashi and the Rambam that grama is chayiv to pay. Even grama. But that's not the halacha l'maisa. Now let's learn a Gemara together and we'll see the lichtigkeit of the sugya. Zok the Gemara in Bava Basra Chav Beis Amud Beis. Machikin es asula min hashoivach k'dei shloi tikpoi tzanamiya. Zok the Mishnah. You have a ladder in your backyard. Adam oisa b'soich shaloi. You have an innocent ladder. The problem is that little animals, little chayas, Rashi says, climb up and go into your neighbor and eat up his yoinim, his pigeons. So you're mechuyev to remove the ladder because you're causing damage. The question is, I'm not eating up the pigeons. I'm putting a ladder in my house that's causing damage. Why can't I do what I want? Grama? Okay. Grama. So what's wrong with grama? So the Gemara in Bava Basra Chav Beis Amud Beis Zoi Soimeres Grama b'nizakin asa. And Rashi says something amazing. Even if you hold he's potter to pay, Grama b'nizakin is potter, but it's also to do it. You're not allowed to cause a yid damage. And what's interesting is, we see this spalt, like they say. Grama b'nizakin is potter. No financial damage, but you're not allowed to do it. And the emphasis, I want to tell you, there are a number of Rishonim that say Grama is asa midaraisa. We just saw the Yad Ramah. The Yad Ramah says that Grama is either Lifnei Iva, after Achka Moicha. There's a Beis Yitzchak in the Tshuvas Yeredeya Mem Tes Yud Beis Alang Arichas, and he shows conclusively that according to some Rishonim, Grama is asa deraisa. Obviously, you're not allowed to hurt someone, even the Grama. And I'll give you one example that's important, that will give us a tremendous insight into Grama. Someone was in a nasty mood. He took someone's vase, threw it out the window. But he's a cheverman. There was a big mattress on the floor. So it's not going to break. No problem. Someone else was even in a nastier mood and pulled away the mattress. So the vase smashed down and broke. Who's chayiv? Zakmar and Bavakama Dav Chavav Mebeis, both are potter. The one that threw it out the window didn't do a ma'aseh hezek. It's going to land on a mattress, it's not going to break. The throw is potter. The cheverman that took away the mattress, Zok the Gemara, he's only a grama. In fact, the Gemara says, if theoretically the same person pulls away the mattress that threw it out, he's also potter. Because he beat the system. On both ends, he's potter. But this is the case we're going to refer to as the mattress case. You pull away a mattress, you cause damage, it's just that. Grama b'nezaken, Zok Rashi is potter. So here we see a good insight into Grama. Grama means he could be a cheverman. He could want to damage someone, and he wants to beat the system, but if he wasn't mazik, he's potter. But there's one more word we have to know before we go weiter. And this is the Gemara in Bava Kama, Daf Menheim days. Dalet dvarim ha'oisa oisam, potter medinei adam, v'chayim medinei shamayim. Zok the Gemara, you're missing a point. You're not allowed to be goyim. Not only is there an issa to be grama, but there's a price tag. Chayiv b'dinei shamayim. But let's first look at the examples, and then we'll apply it. 4 examples the Gemara gives of grama. Ha'poyritz geda b'fnei bemes chaverei. Rashi explains, someone had an animal locked up safely. You opened the lock, let the animal out. The animal ran away, and he lost his animal. You're chayiv to pay midinei shamayim. That's a wonderful example of grama, because you didn't kill the animal. You caused the animal to escape, and the balabas has a loss. That's grama, chayiv midinei shamayim. Second case, hakoifei kamasai b'fnei chaver b'fnei hadleika. Someone sees a fire, and he goes, oh, now it's the time to get even. He takes his friend's item, puts it in the path of the fire, not in the fire. He's more calculated than that. He puts it in the path of the fire comes and burns the item. He didn't throw it into the fire, which is a mazik. He caused it to damage. That's grama. Third case, hasoicha eidei shekel lahayid. Someone makes up a whole scheme, hires eidus, and mechayiv a person to pay. That's grama. The fourth case, listen good, hayodeya eidus lachaverei ve'emin meyed lo. In other words, he knows of eidus that could save someone from trouble. But he doesn't get involved. He has no patience to get involved. That's a grama. You cause someone a loss. 4 examples of grama. They're all the same idea. You caused a damage. Not a mazik, Goyrim Hezek. But Rabbi said what's important for us is the other half. The Chayiv Medine Shamayim. Which means, and this is the way the Yamshel Shloima in Akainis Sif Vov, the Shach in Chav Ches Beis quotes this. Bezdin cannot say you're chayiv to pay. But everything else they will say. Bezdin will encourage him to pay. Bezdin will tell him to pay. Medine Shamayim. If he doesn't want to pay, he's pasal le'edus. If he doesn't want to pay, they'll put him in chayrim. They'll announce in shul that he's a mazik. The Mekar Chaim, the Chabas Yor, and our Chaim Tov Reish Vav writes Yom Kippur comes, he doesn't have to be moichel the money. It's almost a chiyuv, but there's no chiyuv b'dei adam. Personally, I'm always scared more of Chaim Medine Shamayim than Dinei Adam. If you're under Baruch Hashem's blacklist, it's not very good. But you can ask me why. I don't get this. If Gram is Pata, so why Chaim Medine Shamayim? So I can tell you two pshatim, both are true probably. This person is a mazik. He's trying to hurt someone, but he doesn't want to pay the price. He's trying to beat the system. That's a mazik. Why shouldn't he pay? He's trying to cause damage, but he doesn't want to pay, so he breaks the door of the stable, and the animal runs out. He's not a shlishi person. Why shouldn't he pay? Or you could say more pashut. Even though there's no ma'isa hezik, but he damaged, right? Just like Adam Mud La'olam, even Einis, if you damage someone, you pay. Maybe the same is true by a grama. But whatever the case is, we see two things. Grama is pata, b'chai medina shemayim. Let me ask you one more question, then we'll go to the case after case. Let's say someone had the following shayla. He caused a hezek, mamish an oinis. He went to someone's house, I'll give you an example, to do a favor, and he was called suddenly to go home. He left the door open. So he left the door open in someone's house, which caused a geneva, pirtzikar leganav. But he wasn't careless or selfish. There was no malicious intent. He was an oinis. He was called to go home, emergency. He left the door open. What's the halacha of grama ba'oinis or b'shoigig? Zokt de meiri daf nun vav amid beis in bavakama. Grama is takachai medine shemayim. But if there's no kavanah to be mazik, he's put even medine shemayim. The Marit in Aleph Tzadikei, the Chazinish in Bavakama Hey Yudalid, all say this yisoid. When there's no kavanah lahazik, there's no ptur, there's no chiyuv even medine shemayim. Grada the Ksaf Soifa in Chayshem Mishpat Siman Chavdalid disagrees, and he says a mazik, a gram is chayiv, even if there's no intent. What's the machlokes taliyin? I think it's very gishmak. If the chiyuv for grama is you're a mazik, kavanah lahazik, there is no kavanah lahazik. If the pshat, like we said, is adam mud la'olam, you have to pay, even if you're a grama. Just like adam mud la'olam, even ayin is gamal according to some shitas, it makes sense. Grama would be chayiv. But the ma'isa, the poskim seem to assume Adam, that's mazik, is chayiv. Grama is chayiv din shemayim. If it's a legitimate shoigig or oinis, there would be no chayiv lotzei b'dei shemayim. So let's apply this lamaisa. I hope it should be very simple. The first question, we said a little earlier, a person left someone's door open. I'll give you an example. He stayed for Shabbos in someone's house. In his haste to go home at Tzai Shabbos, he left the front door unlocked. Someone came and they volunteered to clean out the house. You know what I mean? But not literally, but clean out the house, kipshute. And they robbed everything. is the person that stayed there for Shabbos chayiv to pay. He caused the damage. So this is a case we would think grama. It's probably worse than grama. Because if you stayed in someone's house, he becomes a shomer. Maybe even a shoyel. Kol ano shaloi. Shomer and a shoyel is chayiv. Even in Gnei Aveda. Shoyel is chayiv and everything. So this case, when there's a shomer involved, when there's a shoyel involved, Avadi has to pay. Next question is very challenging, very important. You see someone has a little problem, little leak, a little fire. So the person that sees this should really go over and stomp out the fire. That's it. Or just close the valve. But he's too lazy. He walks right by. And he heard later, terrible hezek. Is he mechuyev to pay medina shemayim for that hezek? If he would have gone over and stepped on the fire, there was no sakana whatsoever, finished. If he would have closed the valve, no leak. He was lazy, no good reason. And no doubt about it, he could have been the stitch in time that saves 9, and he didn't. So the chayra, he's not a mazik. What is he? Grama. But think about it, it's not so pashut. We had a few examples of grama. Every case of grama, a person did something. Unlocked the door, took the item, put it in the path of the fire, hired false witnesses, pulled out the mattress. Every case of grama, there was an act of grama. This is a new case, a new category. He didn't do something. Who said Sheval Tasa is considered grama? Maybe you have to do a grama to be chayiv. And the emes is, you could say, Pashit, the tzvei dinim. Mazik is chayiv, grama is chayiv medina shemayim. But now there's a third din. You didn't do something that could have prevented a loss. Maybe taka there's no chiyuv. And the Tashbitz, one of the Rishonim, Mechelik Beis, Kuf Yudalid, says just that. Even though it's a chiyuv medina shemayim, that's when you did something. Again, kaif kamasei, pirate together, take away the mattress. Just a non-action is not even grown. Sounds good, but it's a pliya. Because we forgot one case, the last case in the Gemara, Hayodeya Eidos B'Chaveira Ve'Einei Meyed. He doesn't say Eidos. Gemara calls it Grama. That's a Sheval Tasa. And I saw even a bigger Chiddush. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Oyebach in Mincha Shloima Aleph Pei Beis, and then Mr. Chavas Yor in Reish Ches says a very bekitzer. Imagine someone's walking along the street. He sees a lost item belonging to a Yid. It's a makom that is Roiv Yisrael, Chiyav HaShavas Aveda. He has a Chiyav D'Oraisa to pick it up and bring it home and call up the person and say, pick up the item. He didn't do that, left the item on the floor. No doubt about it, he was over on a Asay, HaShavas Aveda, Allah V'Suchal V'Salim, but it got worse. Right after he walked away, a guy saw the item. The guy, Shita is, finders keepers, picks it up. Now the item is lost. And the Yiddish person just lost that item. So the fellow starts to feel guilty. If I would have picked it up, I would return it. Now it's gone. Does he have to pay for that item? So it's sicher not a mazik, but it's a grama. Zogt Reb Shlomo Zalman and the Chavas Yor, he's chayiv b'dinei shemayim to pay for the aveda. Besides the issa of Hashavas Aveda. Why? Pashit. Grama. Where do you find such a grama? Hayodeya be'edis chaveroi ve'einei me'ed. Now, there's a big kasha on the Tashbitz. How did Tashbitz say such a statement? There's a wonderful sefer, Mishpat HaMazik, wrote in Eretz Yisrael the sefer. So he has a chiddush that when someone knows Eidos, he has a chiyuv mamanis to get involved. So the lack of saying Eidos is more than just a bittul asay. It's a chiyuv mamani. That's why he has to pay. Okay? That's what he wants to say. But I will say, and this is important to mention, that someone that could prevent the loss, that doesn't, according to many, many shittas, has a chiyuv to pay midinei shemayim. Besides, leisamer adam reyecha, damim, in this case means money. Besides hashavas haveda, but it could be a grama b'nizaken, that's chayiv. Now, this is something that's always good to mention, but I think especially in the summer months, we're together with people in a bungalow, and you see something that's wrong, don't ignore it. Besides the chiyuv hashavas haveda, leisamer adam reyecha, this could be a chiyuv b'dinei shemayim. A tenant that sees something's wrong with his apartment, tell the landlord. A small problem gets bigger and bigger. Call the landlord, say, take care of it, there's something wrong. Now, consider this question, very intriguing question. Someone had a drip in his apartment. The sink was running, he didn't close the well. Or sometimes a person, I heard the shiloh once, someone went away for the summer and left the water running slightly. All of a sudden, after a month, the landlord gets a water bill, astronomical cost. Water running adds up. The tenant left the water running, and now there's a big bill. Could the landlord give the tenant the bill, calculate how much it was because he left the water running? Or, in the case where the landlord pays electricity, and the tenant left the electricity on, he went away for a month, didn't realize that there was an air conditioner burning in the back room, burning a whole month. It adds up to a big amount. So let's think. Is the tenant a mazik? No, he didn't break anything. Is he a grama? Why not? But wait a minute. Maybe he's more than a grama. Maybe Taki is a mazik. Imagine a person goes over to his friend's barrel of wine and lifts the spigot up, and all the wine runs out onto the grass. He just ruined a barrel of wine. Is that a grama? Or is that a ma'aseh b'yadayim? If you turn over the barrel onto the grass, it's a mazik. You let the wine run. Why is that a mazik? So, in that sefer, Mishpatei HaMazik, Yud Beis Lamed Daled, he quotes Reb Shlomo Zalman, both in Ma'orei Eish and in Mincha Shleima, that putting on a spigot and the water and the wine runs out, is a mazik b'yadayim. It's your koyach. You opened the faucet and the wine ran out. He does quote the Har Tzvi and Choshen Mishpat Kuf Chav Ches, holds only the initial gush is his ma'isa, but Shlomo Zalman seems to feel that that's his ma'isa. And he wants to say the same is true. If a tenant or anybody leaves water running, he put on the faucet, he didn't close it properly, all the continuous running is his initial action, not grama, the action of letting the water go. Now, he does point out that there's a fundamental difference in the metzias. When you have a barrel of wine, all the wine is there, and releasing the spigot, it all spills out. Water is not all there. It has to be pumped through piping from the reservoir upstate New York. Maybe it's considered like a koyach sheni. But he says, Shlomo Zalman seems to hold, since it flows continuously, it's a koyach rishon. In fact, if Shlomo Zalman says, which is a much bigger chiddush, I want to tell you, but if Shlomo Zalman, in that shtickle, in Ma'orei Or, suggests, if a person puts on electricity, and it goes, accumulates a big bill, it's also a mazik b'yadayim. Now this is a gevaldige chiddush in the metzias, because there is no electric closet or electric tank that all electricity is there. Electricity is constantly being generated. When I put on an appliance, there's enough electricity for a few seconds. It has to be generated. But wine in a barrel is there. Water in a barrel is there. Electricity is not even in the world. It's being created on a constant basis. But still he holds that's your mice. I guess the point is, when you start it going and it goes continuously, it's yours. So this is something to consider, that when you leave water running, it's a mazik. According to Shem Zalman, he has to pay. We go to the mountains, bungalows, camps. I tell the Bacham, it's kedai they should realize that beside that Torah Chasa Mammon Shal Yisrael, Bal Tashris, but letting the water run, electricity run, could be a mazik. Shem Zalman holds it's a mazik. Rav Vosna in Chelik Zayin Reish Lamed Daled has a shayla where someone moved out of the apartment after the lease expired, and he left on a dud electric, some type of electric appliance, or a generator probably, and it went for a long time until the balabas detected that. So now he wants to charge the tenant. He left it on. He said, no, I moved out. So Rav Vosna holds that this is a grama, that's chayiv, because he should have been more careful. You took achrayis, it's a pshia, and he has to pay for all the wasted electricity that went all those weeks. So basically it's kedai to be careful and sensitive, especially when we have someone else's mamanis. This could be a grama that's chayiv to pay. Ma'aser Shahaya, true story. Someone was staying in someone's basement. Whatever the details, but somehow the plug of the freezer got unplugged, and there was a well-stocked freezer with meat, and it was in the basement. No one even checked. But when they started having this sensing a very bad smell, they realized it's trouble. It seemed that the freezer, of course, stopped working, and after a few days, the meat spoiled, and they had problems with mold. It was a real mess. The one that pulled out the plug, is he chayiv to pay for the spoiled meat and for the mess? So you think about it, pulling out a plug, even biyadayim, is not a mazik biyadayim, because it doesn't spoil right away. First it has to defrost, and then it takes a few days. That's a grama. I did see, in contrast to this, if someone takes meat, someone else's meat, and puts it in the sun, that's a mazik yadayim. Because you're putting it in a place where it starts to get damaged immediately. That's like tying someone up and putting him in the sun, and that's considered ma'aser b'tzicha. So, putting it in the sun where it spoils immediately is taka a mazik. Pulling out the plug is a grama. So here we would say it's chayim medina shemayim. If the plug was pulled out and it was an emes ha'oinis, and chayim is pata. But this would be a good example of a grama b'nezakin that's pata, zicha pata medina yadam, and maybe even pata medina shemayim if there was no negligence, if there was no pshia on his part. I'll tell you a yeshiva sheshayla. A boy didn't have his bus pass, so he took his friend's bus pass. So when I heard this shayla, I said, first of all, you're not allowed to steal. Don't forget. You can't borrow someone's bus pass. Yeah, but if I would live far, I would get a bus pass. I said, migui is good when you learn bava kama. You can't steal with a migui. If you're not eligible to get a bus pass, you're not allowed to use a bus pass. He gave it to me. He's a koyach. Not allowed to steal. I'm talking about the boy that borrowed the bus pass was eligible. He left it in the house. He lost it. So, if he's allowed to use a bus pass, he borrowed someone else's. Bekitza, he didn't return it. And the owner had to go by bus the next day. And now he's saying, pay me $275 for the bus fare. If you would have given back the bus fare like you should have, I wouldn't have to take a bus. So this is a perfect example of grama. I didn't steal your wallet or break your wallet. I caused you the cost of a bus. Okay. Grama b'nezakin is chayiv b'dina shavaya. If the boy didn't return the bus pass was an oinus, he's probably potter. If he was negligent, he has to pay the bus fare. I should mention, if there was an agreement, I need it back tomorrow, make sure you give it back to me, there'll be more of a tzad to be chayiv. Another ma'aseh shahaya that comes up in different forms. Hey, this is a story that I heard. Someone opened the window in Beis Medrash. During the summer, it was a big Beis Medrash. A wind came, it was a windy day, and blew a chayfetz down, that was on the windowsill, and the chayfetz crashed down and broke. It wasn't a type of electric appliance, a small MP3, but a wind came, smashed it down, and it cracked. Does he have to pay for the damage? So, this reminds me of a Gemara in Shabbos, which is a sugya in Sanhedrin also. If you open a window and the air is there, as soon as you open the window, the air goes in, and the marshal puts out a candle, that's Shulchan Aruch Siman Reish Ayin Zayin, that's considered like putting out a candle. You open a window and the air goes right in, that's like Bitka Demai, it's like releasing a koyach. So if it was a windy day and the wind came in immediately, he's chayiv to pay. Now, you have to figure out, are you allowed to leave an MP3 on a windowsill? If the person that left the appliance there was negligent, and I have a right to open the window, so even though it's my koyach, I'm potter. Gemara says in Masechet Bava Kama, I'm walking the street, and I look down, I hear a crunch, I just stepped on someone's MP3, I'm a mazik. Adamud Oilam. No. If you have a right to walk there, and the other person was negligent, you're potter. So if you have no right to keep an appliance on a windowsill, especially a place that people use, then the person will be potter. But had it been a place where it's done, and the air came in right away, Eina Chanami, there would be a tzad to be mechayiv. If it was a later reaction, if it wasn't Bitka Demaya, it wasn't a Koyach Rishon, that would be a Grama, which would be Grama Medazakin, Patam Medin Yodam, and Chayim Medin Shemai. Question. Someone left his friend's bike outside just for a minute, but a minute's enough time for a Ganav to come. Or someone in the mountains left an item outdoors, a rain came, ruined the item. Does he have to pay for the item? So I didn't steal the bike. I caused the bike to be stolen. Grama. True. But more often than not, when a person leaves a bike outside, either he was a shoyel, he's using it, he borrowed it, or he's a shoyma. Either case, it would be a chiyuv. In other words, leaving an item outside is a grama, a yesod. But if there was a previous obligation, whether it's shoyel or shoyma, then there would be a chiyuv mamonis. A person that borrows a bike has to take care of it. More often than not, you'll notice there was an obligation to be careful. You borrowed someone's bike, he would be chayiv b'dinei adam al shoyel or shoyma to pay for it. Now, if it's no responsibility, it's a grama b'nezakin. Okay, like we said, chayiv b'dinei shemai. Question. Someone talked bad about a person who either lost his job because of that or didn't get a job. Comes Yom Elul, and he starts thinking about Achet, Shechatanu Fanecha, B'Lashon Hara, and he does tshuva about the Aveira. Does he have a financial obligation to pay for the person that lost the job because of his Chaitzas Shem? I'm not talking about a suffix. Vadai. He spoke bad, people heard about it, either they fired him, which they shouldn't have, or they didn't hire him. B'kitzah, his Chaitzas Shemra caused someone to lose panasa. Is there a financial obligation besides the terrible aveira of it? So let's think. What is that? I didn't hurt the person. I didn't hit the person. I caused him to lose a job. Zok Chumas Hadesen in Simon Shin Zayin, this very Shaila. It says Reuven was a Shliach Tzibur, and someone said bad about him, and the Tzibur fired him. They got a different chazan. Then it was found out the whole thing was not true. And now he feels bad. So the Chumas Hadeshen minces no words. Avadi did something terrible, and God lavoinim minasoy. And he goes on to say that they put him in chayrim, but there's no financial obligation. This is a grama bin azakin that's pata medina yadam. At the end, again, don't think this is a klinikite. He again says how terrible it is to Yitzhak Shemra, but you can't be mechayiv a person to pay on a grama. You think about it, it's a perfect example. He spoke, they listened, they decided. I didn't fire. They decided. They acted in haste. Gram Merzakin is chayiv b'dinei shemayim, but not b'dinei yad. The Shleima Kluga in Elfach Shleima Archaim Simon Shin Samach Gimel has bekitza the same shaila about a seifa. He said it's a terrible story about him. He lost his job. He lost panasa. Patim b'dinei yadam and chayiv b'dinei shemayim. Question. Someone bought a roast, expensive roast for Yom Tov, and put in an ingredient. It happened to be, in this case, it was a spice. And he cooked the roast. Next morning he heard that that particular spice, the whole spice package, was heavily infested. You can't use it. Bring it back to the store for a full refund. Mekach tois. We're not talking about sveikis. It was infested. Vadai mekach tois. This person goes to the store with a big roast and a big bill. You know, I put your mekach tois into my roast. You got to pay. So the storekeeper says, "Where'd you buy this roast?" It went for me. What do you mean? I bought the spice for you. Yeah, I'm giving you back money for the spice. What's the roast have to do with it? Yeah, but I put in this tray for the spice because of you. No, what do you say? This is a pashata grama. It's unfortunate. Rav Shlomo Zalman in Mincha Shleim in Bava Kama Davav on the Gemara, he has a different shayla actually. A storekeeper sold salt instead of sugar. And people came back with it. He said the cake, salty cake is not a tasty thing, or very salty fish. So Rav Shlomo Zalman says, Pashtus, it's only a gram. But then he goes on to a phenomenal discussion. If you learn Bava Kama, I advise you to take a look there. He says maybe the salt or the sugar is a bar hamizgalgal baraglei adam. That's a din of eish. If it's a din of eish, because the salt instead of sugar, then the storekeeper's chayiv b'dini adam, because it's like his eish that was mazik. Okay, that's a Bava Kama sugya. But basically, this is a case of grama, no more. Chayiv b'dini shemayim. The Marsham in Chelikei Yud Aleph has a similar shaila, but there the question was, is it really the fault of the storekeeper? So that might be helpful if you have a suffix. But if it's a vadai, storekeeper's fault, it's chayev medinei shamayim. A common scenario that really should not happen is someone wrote out a check, and the receiver deposited it, and before long, he realized that the check, quote unquote, did tshuva. It was returned. It bounced. And now we started getting penalty in the bank. Sometimes you get 2 penalties. Worse yet, in the interim, he wrote out checks, thinking that the check that he deposited was good, and his check started to bounce. So, pashtis, we would say the following. If I take someone else's check and I destroy it, that's mazik. The Gemara says, "Asayir shtar shel chaveroi" is a mazik. I'm destroying money. If I just give you a check and you deposit it, and you got a knas, I caused you. Isn't that grama, which is part of medina yadam and chai medina shemayim? And maybe if so, if it wasn't my fault, I'm patur ganzen. So here we come to an extremely important yisoid that Tosis and Bava Basra, Chav Beis and Beis develops. It's in all the Shoinim. Grama is patur medina yadam. Garmi is chayiv. What's the difference? To make a long story short, if I tell you, listen, let's say Chassan and Kala get engaged. I'll give you an example, that's a machaba. And the Kala goes out and prepares for a big vart. The last minute the Chassan chickens out, like they say, breaking the engagement. So the Machaba and Even Ezer, Siman Nun, Siv Gimel, says the Kala can require the Chassan to pay for all the Haitzos. It's only grama, but you told me we're getting engaged. I was Moitzi Haitzos, I'll piv. You can't just run away. When I tell you to spend money, I tell a worker, make me a svarim shank, I'll pay you. He works hard. He say, you know what, I don't want it, forget it. That's not a grama. That's Moitzi Haitzos, I'll piv. He worked on a svarim shank. The Gemara speaks about Lamashal. You see a coin, you're a coin collector. You're not sure if it's a forgery. You show it to a bucky. He goes, yeah, it's good, worth its money. And it wasn't. You could charge him. It's a mazik. It's a mazik of garmi. Chazu dalecha kasamichna. I'm relying on you. You can't just say, I'm sorry. What's the yisoid? When someone assumes responsibility, he has to stand behind it. The word responsibility is the yisoid of Yiddishkeit. Achrayus. You can't just run away. That's why it's pashit. We'll talk about it in a different share, but it's pashit. A person that calls up a worker and says, remember, I need you for tomorrow. Put me in your calendar. Put me on your schedule. You can't cancel. If a person cancels a worker, a doctor, a dentist, and he doesn't give notice, he's chayav to pay. It's not a ploy of the workers. This is a mazik. I relied on you. I gave up a different job. You can't just back out. The poskim say this is why the issuer of the check, the one that wrote the check, is not just a grama. He's a garmi. I gave you a check. You assume you're allowed to use it. You put it in the bank. The penalty is a chiyuv gomer to pay because he listened to you and he relied on you. The only question is, if you put the check in the bank, you wrote out your own checks, and they returned, they bounced. So a lot of places can say, what's the chiluk? I relied on you, I'm allowed to fill out the check, it's your fault. Other places can say, wait a minute, I took responsibility to you, not to you writing out other checks, which is hard to understand why that's so, but Lamaisa, we could say, according to a lot of shittas, he's responsible for both sets of checks. The original one and even the later one as well. Halavai, this shouldn't happen because the person has to be oiske cheshbon. Someone at the Shaila, he had a faulty appliance. He called an expert, a repairman. He fixed it, he paid him, he walked out. He put on the appliance, it's short-circuited, and now it's really broken, beyond repair. So this is a case of chazud alecha kasamichna. Not only could he demand back a refund of the repair money, but he could actually charge him for the appliance. Of course, it was a new appliance. Whatever it was worth, the appliance repairman has to pay. Someone asked his friend, please move my car before 11:30. I'm going to get a ticket. He'll do it, no problem. Well, when people say no problem, there's always problems. And Lamaisa, he got a ticket. So if it's true that the fellow accepted the responsibility, even though it's a grama, I didn't give you the ticket, but you caused me a damage that you took responsibility for, you would have to pay. Now, sometimes the person asks his friend, and the friend didn't say beferish, yes, probably because he's a Milish Esra or something like that, If he didn't really say accept, he just, you assume so, that's different. But if he accepted responsibility, avada, he would have to pay. I didn't find this Shaila Mamish, but I found similar. The Chashulchan Chayshim Mishpat Kufnun Hey Beis has. It's interesting. He was a rav of a city, and he taka ruled the city. He said that chimneys are very dangerous. He writes his whole bekitza, and there's a chiyuv on every person to clean out his chimney. And today it's a law; you have to do it. And if you don't, and the chimney does damage, you have to pay. And he adds, if you call the worker who said he's going to do it and he didn't do it, pashut, that the worker is chayiv to pay for the damages. Why? You accept the responsibility. Now the worker didn't do the damage. It's your problematic roof. But if you accept the responsibility, you got to be there. The question we began with, tragic question, someone took out an insurance policy. Somewhere the paperwork was faulty and there was no insurance on record. Now he has a loss, a terrible loss. So as tragic as it is, but the insurance broker is not a mazik. He didn't burn the house down. His negligence caused the hezek. True. That would be a grama. That's pata medini adam and chay medini shemai. The Divrei Malkiel in Chelik Reish Chav Beis has a ha'ara. If the insurance broker, if you hired him to insure your house, he's working for you. He's achrei for you. Why is there a chi of gama? He gives an unbelievable analogy. If I hire someone that when you see my vase coming out the window, quickly put a mattress under it and save it. And he's negligent, and the vase breaks. Could I require the worker to pay? Avada. So why can you mechayev the insurance broker to pay? So he says, because he's not working for you. An insurance agent is working for the insurance company. You don't pay him. Therefore, he's working for someone else. It's not like a poyel, chazud alecha kosamichna, and therefore it's not a mazik, it's only a grama b'nizak. Rabbi Yankel Bloy in his Pischei Choshen Gimel Har Pei Aleph says, but he gets part of a commission, but that's not enough to make him your poyel. He's working for the insurance company, and it's a grama that's chayiv medina shemai. As we mentioned, canceling any worker, booking a hall, a caterer, a car service, for a person takes out a slot for his child at a camp, day camp. Last minute he cancels. All those cases are more than a grama. If someone's relying on you, if someone's spending money because of you, that could be a real chiyuv. And last but not least, let me leave you with 3 questions, food for thought. The first one is a ma'aseh shehaya. It was a 3-family house, and someone who was obviously not very considerate came out with his box, his carton from the grocery, and put it into the paper garbage. So far, so good. I mean, it's not nice, but there's nothing wrong. The other tenant came out with a bag of paper garbage. The whole garbage is full. So he took out the box, the carton, put it on the side, and put his bag of garbage in the garbage can. Their mazel, a sanitation officer was driving around and sees a box that wasn't torn apart. So the landlord got a ticket. Who's required to pay that ticket? The landlord is totally innocent, but it's on his name. So you think about it, that the person that put the box originally was a selfish person, no doubt about it. But he's not a mazik. He didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he was selfish, but he didn't get the ticket. The second tenant that put the box on the side instead of tearing it apart was a grama. You'll say, am I mechuyev to be hishlak shamas? You're not. But if you put a box where you get a ticket, you might have to pay. So even though the first person was wrong, you can't be mechayev him what he didn't do. So it makes more sense that the second person is a grama. He didn't give the ticket, but he caused the ticket. If the second person was an oinus, he was in a rush, he had to go, maybe he's not even chayiv medina shemai. Who's chayiv, believe it or not? The landlord. So work that out with the landlord, but the first person is not a grama. The second person is probably more of a grama. Yeah. The snowball shot that I mentioned, A threw a snowball at B, and B bent down, and it broke the glasses of C. So this Cheverman became a lamdin. This mazik became a lamdin. You know what he said? He said, I am not chayiv on the glasses for sure. Why? Gemara with the mattress. If I throw something out the window, there's a mattress, so I'm potter. You know who's chayiv to pay? The one that bent down. Go to him. Don't go to me. But he was even more aggressive. He said, if the other person bent down, he's a grama. But there are shittas and rishonim that the one that pulls away the mattress that causes the vase to break is chayiv. So I'm innocent. The one that bent down is chayiv. Either grama or chayiv b'dinei adam. You hear mechutzev? So I think he's much more of a mazik than he's a lamdin. Because you think about it, there's a big chiluk between the case of the mattress and the case of the snowball. Think about it. The case of the mattress, throwing something out the window when there's a mattress there is not a ma'aseh hezek. It's going to land safely. The snowball is a malicious ma'aseh hezek. The only question is, whose glasses will he break? B or C? But that's a mazik. So he's not an innocent person, he's a mazik. You'll say, but the second person was goyim. What does a goyim have to do when you have a mazik? Is the second person mechuyev to stand there and just get the snowball to save a third person? That's a Yerushalmi. The Yerushalmi in Bava Kama, Perek Gimel, Halacha Aleph says if someone sees a flood coming, he's allowed to turn it away from his field. Even though it goes onto someone else's field, and Grama Nezakin is Asa, but in this case he's not Asa, he's saving his field. If it came into his field already, he can't redirect it. But if it's coming, you're allowed to save yourself. So the problem is that the mazik was not a lamdin. He did a ma'aseh hezek that hit a victim. You'll say, but it was the wrong victim. That's a pasuk in the Torah. If someone's fighting, v'nakfa isha hara, the chiyuv to pay. So the ma'aseh, this seems to be that the mazik is taka mazik, and we have to pay. He's not an oynis gomer, he's a mazik gomer, and he has to pay. And last but not least, consider this beautiful shayla. Someone threw something out the window, and there was a mattress. Fine. The person pulled away the mattress, he's pot. Why? Rashi says, Grama ben Nezakin. Freg Rabbi Chanan in Kovet Shiurim, Bava Basra Siman Ayin Hey. The halacha is, if there's a bar covered, and you uncover the bar, you become Bala bar, and you're chayiv. If there's a stone that's covered, no one will get hurt, you uncover the stone, and a person gets hurt, you're a Bala bar. Freg Rabbi Chanan, why is the one that removes the mattress pata? He created a bar by removing the mattress. So whatever happened was his bar. Why is Nichayev al that? Zakir B'chanan, you're right. He made a bar. The damage is bar. But who doesn't know bar is pata on Kalim? That's why he's pata. The Heilig Chazaynish has the same shal. He didn't quote Rabbi Chanan. In Bava Kama Beis, the end of Sifkot Yudalid, and he says, pardon me, but he says, let's say if someone throws a gedi out the window, or there's a mattress, and the second person pulls away the mattress, and the gedi gets killed. This is written just for us. The same like Chanan with one difference. There's no Ptur Kalim on a gedi. Zok the Chazaynish, he's potter. I bar. So the Chazanish, bar is when you did something that was mazik. Either you made a bar or a stone, but karka oilam that's mazik is never bar. You uncovered karka oilam. That's not bar. Ki yichra, ki yiftach ish bar. But the pella is, Rabbi Chanan, the Chazanish adds, ve'eni ala grama upata. He's got the grama and he's pata. The question is, this Bala mattress is he chayiv medinei shamayim? You ever wonder, someone had a bar with negligence and it broke a keli. Is he chayiv medinei shamayim to pay for the keli? So the Chazon Ish in a different place says, in Beis Zayin, if the Torah patted you, you're pater. Gewaltige Chiddush. Gram and Zakin is takachayim medinei shamayim. But if there's a specific tour of kalim, you are pater on kalim, even medinei shamayim. Rather, the Birkei Shmuel and Bava Kama Beis says, if you're grama, you're chayiv. So this question, if your bar is mazik kalim, is there a chayiv medinei shamayim, is a machloikis achreinu. Guten Tag to you.
B'shem Egen Shir Torah, like to give a big shekher to Smith for today's shir. B'shem Egen Shir Torah and over the Stadtrim, like to give a big mazel tov to Smith and his father, Zangesund and the Chasana, tomorrow night in Lakewood. Shir Torah Mitzlachas, Zach Edishnach, bringing out the yad. There'll be a seekum of today's shir in a few minutes. Kananya Menakashem, Rotzak Rishbroch, the Zakas, is Yisrael figure Hebron, Torah Mitzvah, Shanema, the Ner Chofetz, the Matzidkoi, Yagdol Torah Yadir.
And they went over.
If you're in the car there and you want another word, it's not happening.
His job is to give that ticket to whoever. And yours,
Simcha, 1 minute, you have to go.
Then there's 5 percent.
No, I left the apartment, and I left on to get the stairs. Yeah? And then he gets a big group, yes? But what happens is, after I bring it on, the power comes. Who expect the power? Like commercial. In the winter, they use electricity. Some people want to go to the house, and in the summer you have a good chance solar. And London is like London is something
I gotta go. People are burning me. Okay, I need to go and yeah, so I'm going to see him in the country, yeshiva, not in the Vigarim meet, I'm going to be late.
His time is precious.
Okay, Rabbi Yakov, please find your seats and remain silent for the sequel of today's Shebra Smith and Groma Ben Azakin. Please don't be Garim that there should be noise on the recording. Everyone, please don't be Garim any noise on the recording. Will have to be done whether it's a Chayav or Potter.
Just a short summary, learned Tevez Hashem, we saw in Issa Torah to be mazik, whether it's after Achkamoichel, Signoivu, Lifnaiva, Shabbos Aveda, and more importantly, Yoisa, Yesh, Bizar, Shala Yazik, Mishala Yozak. Very important to take an attitude that it's not a question of money, it's a question of Yashras, to be careful not to be mazik someone else. Adam Mud La'olam, that we see, the special Zahiris when it comes to Yenim Zapruta. We did see a Chiddush, that Grama, although it's Pata, but Grama is an Issa. Besides, some say it's Issa Deraisa of the Fnaiva, or After Achkamoicha, or Leisignoivu, but the fact is that he's Chayim Medinei Shemayim. He's Pata Medinei Adam, Chayim Medinei Shemayim. The Poskim say that the Beis will encourage him to pay until he pays his Pasal Eidos, and he has to stop being mazik, but it's a very interesting scenario. There's no Issa, there's no Chiyuv to pay, but there is a Chiyuv to pay. Unless he's a Shaigur or Einis, there's no Dinei Shemayim. And to give a few examples, a person left the door open, that's a grumble. and Geneva came, that will be a grama. Unless he's a shoyel or a shoyma, then he has more of a chiyuv. Someone could have prevented a loss and didn't. According to some, he would be chayiv b'dinei shemayim. Someone gave an example. If you see someone's about to get a ticket because there's no money in his meter, and you add some money, that's a gewaldige thing to do. Maybe if you didn't do it, you could have done it. That would be the shaila being garim hefsik. Someone that didn't return an aveda, there are shittas that hold he's chayiv to pay the value of the aveda. That's a grama b'dei shemayim. You left water running or electricity running is either a grama or could even be a mazik that has to pay. Unplugged freezer is a grama, which is chayim din shemayim, unless it was an oinus. Put meat in the sun, with the mazik happens right away, is in a certain sense a mazik biyadayim. Taking someone's bus pass, and he had to take a bus, that cost is a grama that's chayim medina shemayim, unless there was extenuating circumstances. Opening a window and the air blows off, an item breaks right away, is a mazik. But if it just happened later, that would be a grama bedine shemayim. You left the item outdoor and it was stolen or ruined. Either it's a grama, but more often it's a shomer or a shoyel that's chayiv bedine adam. If someone talks lashon hara about a person or his business or his item and it causes a loss, it's a terrible aveira. But at the end of the day, it's only a grama that's chayiv bedine shemayim. A person that sold a defective food and it ruined the roast, so the storekeeper would be chayiv al dine shemayim to pay for the roast. A check that bounced is a mazik. He has to pay for it. It's a garmi, and he might have to pay for the cost of all the other checks that bounce. If an appliance was fixed, but it really was not fixed, and it really broke, then he could ask back for the refund of the money and the value of the appliance. Someone took a responsibility to move someone else's car and he didn't, he would have to pay for the ticket. An insurance that was never consummated would be a grama. It's not a maisi, be a dime because he's not working for you. The box that gets a ticket, the person that put the box in the wrong place is the grama. A snowball that hits someone, the throw is chayiv. And someone that moves a mattress is not a mazik of bor, it's a mazik of grama. And taka on the gedi that broke, there would be a chiyuv to pay midine shemayim. And as we said, if someone damaged with a bor, kalim that's potter, according to many shittas, there is no chiyuv lotzei is dine shemayim.